Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Top 10 Pokemon here once again to bring you the Pokemon card auctions of the week recap. Folks, this week wasn't quite as high octane as we're used to, but we are still going to go through some very notable cards. We're going to cover the most recent set, Brilliant Stars, and we're also going to cover a bunch of Celebrations cards. I feel like we haven't reviewed Celebrations cards in quite some time. I was simping on Celebrations for quite a bit there, but it's been a few weeks since we reviewed their cards, so we're going to see what those graded slabs are up to. And as usual, we're going to go over a healthy amount of vintage and modern and sealed product, so stay tuned for all that and more. I'd like to remind you that if you do any shopping on eBay, to use my link below. It would give my channel a kickback, and I would just appreciate it tremendously, so thank you for doing that. Let's jump right into this video with some Brilliant Stars graded slabs. What have they been up to? Here we have a Pikachu V full art card that got the PSA 10 and sold this week for $203. We saw a Galarian Zapdos V. This is the Golden Secret Rare card that in PSA 10 sold for $157. And then we saw an Umbreon V Max, got the Gem Mint 10, and it sold for $211. Here is an Arceus V full art card, probably my favorite Arceus card from the set, and it sold for $280. And then a few of the very notable Charizards from the set. Here is the full art Charizard V that sold for $405 this week. The Rainbow Rare Charizard V-Star sold for $510. And then the Charizard V alternate artwork sold for $630. So, those are some pretty healthy graded prices considering you can nab a box of Brilliant Stars sealed, buy it now for $120, so still a lot of value to be had in this box. Alright, up next we're going to go over quite a few of the Classic Collection Celebrations cards. Let's take a look at some of these sales. We have a Tapu Lele GX that sold as a PSA 10 for $100 even this week. Here is a Gardevoir EX that sold for $102.50. Here's a full art Zekrom Confetti holofoil card that sold for $117. The Mega Rayquaza EX sold for $102. And the Mew EX sold for $118. The Birthday Pikachu is still hitting some impressive numbers, selling this week for $132, and the Umbreon Gold Star from Celebration sold for $181 this week. Here we saw a CGC 10 Perfect Shining Magikarp, all the subgrades, Perfect 10, and it sold for $460 this week, comparing that to the PSA 10, which sold for $132. So folks, let me ask you, do you think this card graded a CGC 10 Perfect would sell for the same as a Black Label BGS 10 copy? Let me know in the comments. Here we saw a CGC 10 Pristine Venusaur from the Classic Collection, and it sold for $151. And then the base set Charizard reprint is still selling for pretty impressive numbers if you ask me, considering how many are in the pop report right now. It sold this week for $305. And then lastly, for Celebrations, we saw the Japanese 25th Anniversary Charizard in BGS 10 Black Label condition, and it sold for $2,047. So the Black Labels and the Perfect CGC 10 cards are certainly commanding a premium this week. Up next, a couple of promos from Evolving Skies that I really love. Here's a Flareon VMAX in PSA 10 that sold for $185, and then a beautiful Jolteon VMAX, also a Black Star promo, sold for $281. Here are a couple of heavy hitters from Fusion Strike. Here's a Rainbow Rare Mew VMAX that sold for $300 even. The Gengar VMAX in PSA 10 sold for $411 this week, and the Espeon VMAX in PSA 10 sold for $455. Mew, Gengar, and Espeon certainly headlining the Fusion Strike set. Alright folks, we had a slew of full art trainer cards come by. Let's take a look at a few of them. Here is a CGC 10 Pristine Caitlyn. This is from the Chilling Reign set that sold for $101. From Lost Thunder set, we saw a full art Whitney card sell for $136. The Lily full art from Sun and Moon base set sold for $160. And then from Cosmic Eclipse, we saw a full art Rosa in PSA 10 sell for $256. And the Cynthia full art card from Ultra Prism sold this week for $276. And the most expensive full art trainer was this Lycia from Celestial Storm that sold for $405. Alright, on to some miscellaneous modern cards. Here is a Charizard VMAX from Darkness Ablaze in PSA 10 that sold for $147. Now what is absolutely amazing about this card is there has to be over 8,000 PSA 10 examples of this card, yet each week it still sells for nearly $150. It blows my mind. The amount of availability, still selling for that much, I can't comprehend it. Here is an Umbreon GX Rainbow Rare from Sun and Moon base set that sold for $173. Here is a beautiful Black Star promo Mew card that sold as a PSA 10 for $450 this week. And then a Charizard and Braixen GX card from Cosmic Eclipse sold for $266. I think this is a very underrated card right here. We also saw a special delivery Bidoof sell as a PSA 10 for $1,247. Moving towards the more vintage portion of the video, we saw a Charizard Holo from Legendary Treasure set in PSA 10 sell for $677, and then the Charizard Holo from Arceus set sold for $3,000 even. We saw a Raichu EX from Sandstorm set that sold for $851, and then a BGS 10 Gold Star Jolteon sold for $3,138. And then here we saw a BGS 10 Black Label Lucario promo. This is a Pop 1 card that sold for $1,253. Alright, on to some WotC cards. We saw a bunch of holos from Aquapolis set, starting with this Magneton in PSA 10 that sold for $335, an Electrode that sold for $414 US, a Blissey that sold for $625 US, and a Holo Steelix that sold for $690 US. Here is an unlimited base set Mewtwo holo that sold for $809 this week. A first edition Dark Gengar from Neo Destiny sold for $1,290. And then lastly, for our single cards on eBay, we saw a PSA 9 first edition Spanish Charizard that sold for $4,500. Alright, some very interesting sealed product to go over. Here is a PSA 10 sealed base set unlimited pack that sold for $970. These graded booster packs blow my mind because you gotta assume that the pack itself has to be light. I mean, who would be sealing up a heavy WotC booster pack? And then it still sells for nearly $1,000. Absolutely insane. Here we saw a black and white Noble Victories booster box that sold for $1,925. Alright folks, anybody who is a fan of Noble Victories, cover your ears because I'm going to lay some truth on you. I would not buy this box at retail. Okay, this is one of the worst sets of all time. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but there is just nothing in this set. So if you ask me, this price right here is strictly based on booster box scarcity. Alright, here is a Japanese Expedition booster box that sold for $9,300, and then a first edition Neo Genesis box sold this week for $21,766. There is so much insane potential that can come out of a Neo Genesis booster box. On to the PWCC weekly auction. Not a whole lot going on this week compared to the past few weeks. We're going to go over a few honorable mentions here. Here's a first edition base set Zapdos that sold for $6,300, and the first edition Nidoking in PSA 10 sold for $5,520. The first edition base set Raichu sold this week for $10,200, while a first edition base set Mewtwo sold for $16,200. And of course, a few Charizards to go over. There's always Charizards to review. Here's a Charizard EX from Fire Red Leaf Green that sold for $3,960. The Charizard from Black and White Plasma Storm sold for $8,700. A first edition Shining Charizard from Neo Destiny sold for $10,200, while a BGS 9 first edition base set Charizard sold for $21,600. And right after that, a BGS 9.5 version of this card sold for $55,200. And the auction of the week I'm going to give to this no rarity symbol Japanese base set Charizard that in BGS 9 condition sold for $30,600. Now folks, there is a PSA 10 version of this card coming through an auction that I'll be covering next week. I think at the time I'm making this video, it's already over $100,000, so I cannot wait to see what kind of price that fetches. So stay tuned for next week's auctions recap because we will most definitely cover that one. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and thank you for your loyalty to this channel. Don't forget to give this video a like on your way out, and don't forget to be a subscriber if you're not already. That's all I got for you, folks. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video, and I will see you soon.